Are you ready to unlock the secret of living a life of strength, balance, and longevity? I'm Anita, and I have helped hundreds of men and women transform their lives by placing their health and wellness as a priority. I am a certified personal trainer, founder of Thrive 55, and your host of the Made to Thrive podcast, where health experts from around the globe join us as we dive deep into topics that help us age gracefully and stronger than ever. This is where we take back our lives, friends. This is where we learn to embrace and celebrate this new normal we call middle age. I call this our second act. We have so much living to do, so let's not waste any more time. We weren't made to just survive these years of our lives. We were made to thrive. Hello, and welcome to the Made to Thrive podcast. I am your host, Anita Terlizzi. I'm so happy that you are here with me today. Today, I decided to jump on and have a bit of a solo appearance, and for the first half, and then for the second half, bring in a special guest that I think will really add some flavor to this show today. As most of you know, I teach a health and wellness class twice a year for the past 12 years. And it's been a joy and it never gets old. And I have so many people that ask me questions about it that have never taken it. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to just jump on this podcast today and just unveil what this is all about, this Daniel Plan program, why I got involved. And then I'm going to have an alumni jump on. She's been coming back 15 classes, I think. We'll double check, but I think she's been with me 15 times. In fact, when she's not out on the audience, it's, she's kind of like my lucky charm. So I'm so excited that she's going to join us. So the Daniel Plan. Okay. So I started my fitness business about 15 years ago. And 2 years into it, I get a phone call from this woman, and she had asked me if I would take over a class that she had been teaching for almost 5 years. The class was called the Daniel Plan, and I had never heard of it. She was needing to go take care of her elderly parents, and she had just heard my name in the community and thought I might be the perfect fit. So I said, okay, send me the book and let me look into it. And at first, to be honest, I was not thoroughly looking into this book. I have it actually right here, the Daniel Plan. And I flipped through it and I'm like, well, yeah, eat better and move. Duh, right? We all know that. But what am I supposed to teach? What am I going to tell people? And shame on me that I had not looked into it deeper at that moment, because this is very different. This program is very different from any health, fitness, wellness, diet. I hate that D word, diet program that I'd ever seen. And I'll tell you the reasons why. When she gave this to me and I started looking into it, I realized it was more than just eating well and moving. They have 5 pillars of success in this book. There's a faith aspect, food, fitness, focus, and friends. And those 5 are really the magic that happens to make this a success. Because I think we'd always try to do this in our own flesh, in our own willpower, and then we fail, and we feel bad and shame ourselves for not completing something. And this whole program is full of grace, full of, you know what, no big deal. Pick yourself up. Let's start again the next day. So it's a really neat program, and I'm going to get a little more into that. So let me start by telling you a little bit about the authors. The authors are Rick Warren. He's a pastor in Saddleback Church in California. I've never met him personally. One day, Pastor Warren, I hope I get to meet you. Dr. Daniel Amen. He's a brain health specialist. And Dr. Mark Hyman, and he is an MD and a real food doctor. He really understands what food does to our bodies, our mind, our mood, our health. So he is just fascinating to listen to as well. And then on top of that, deep into the pages of the Daniel Plan, there are other nutritionists, there are other health coaches, there are other cooks and chefs that include recipes. It's just, and then real life people who are talking about their journey and their struggles and how they got through it. So it's really neat. And that's what the whole class is about, too. So Rick Warren was at his church in California, and he was baptizing over 800 people that day. And I have not been to Saddleback Church. I think there's a lake behind this church, but either way, he was in a lake baptizing. So he said by the time he got halfway through, his back was killing him. And he realized, and these are his words, my church is fat and I am fat. And so he went to service that following Sunday, got in front of his congregation, apologized for being a glutton and overeating and not taking his body seriously as a gift from God that we should be taking care of. And he says, I got to do something about it. Is anyone in? And to his surprise, everyone raised their hand. And he had several thousand people in that church. And he thought, oh, I just got myself into something big. So that's when he rallied the support of all these authors, and the Daniel Plan was birthed. So I had said, you know what? I will read the book. I will teach the class. And I'll teach one class and see what it's like and what I think. So I decided to have it at my house. I had advertised the class and I put it out to friends, and 80 people showed up. 80 people in my living room that cannot hold 40. So it was an eye-opening experience, because I thought, wow, here I am thinking, we know to eat better, we know to exercise, duh. Well, if we all know duh, then why do I have 80 people in my living room right now? And as I taught the class, I am recognizing the need that people have. I am recognizing that people just don't feel good anymore. They are in search of mental clarity. They are in search of their joints feeling better. They are in search of having energy and not being so lethargic. Um, the list goes on and on. And until you're sitting in there with all these people and listening to them share their stories and their obstacles in life, you realize, wow, this is really necessary. And I also realize we are all really, really hard on ourselves. We would never speak to other people the way we speak to ourselves in our head, right? It's terrible. And so I love the idea that this class really is about loving the skin that we're in, knowing that we're not perfect. We weren't made to be perfect. And we certainly were not made by mistake, right? There is a God that is a creator that created you with a purpose, on purpose. And when we can kind of get our brain around that you were created for so much more than just looking good or fitting in your skinny jeans. We want to be healthy. We want to be strong. We don't want to be strapped to an oxygen tank in our, latter years, right? We just want to live in abundance. And that's what this course is all about. I'm often asked, like, will I be hungry? I don't think I want to be on a diet. And it's nothing like that. This is a very holistic approach. It's just getting rid of that processed food, introducing you to whole foods, that whole idea of field to fork. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but just bringing in nutrient-rich food again into our life, and then having that movement that we talked about. That we don't have to be worried about, well, I can't get to a gym, or I can't afford a gym, or I look stupid. And I'm going to show you that it is so easy to be moving throughout your day without feeling like you failed at it or you're not doing it right. You'll just feel better. You'll feel better just because you got up and did it, right? So it's a really neat experience, you guys. It is a 6-week class. Here's kind of the format and how it works. I will have a meet and greet on Zoom before it begins, and it begins September 24th. It's a Tuesday night, 6:30 to 8 p.m., and that is Arizona time zone. I believe that's Mountain. We change. I don't even know. I just know it's 6:30 Arizona time. And so that would be 2 hours later in the Midwest, 3 hours on the East Coast. And we will meet in person at Scottsdale Bible Church, Cactus Campus. You'll be getting an email with more specifics in the address. And then online, just like this. We'll be meeting just like this. I'm sure everyone is used to Zoom because we live in a post-COVID world, unfortunately. But the fortunate part is that I get to connect with people across the country, and you can join in live on Zoom, which is super cool. So you won't miss anything. And then the people on Zoom will have the same experience with their own community online, as well as the people that are in class at tables. And you'll see that when I get in front of the camera on that first day, and you'll see the setup. So you'll be getting 2 books, this textbook called the Daniel Plan, and a study guide that looks just like this, but it's paperback. I wish I had it with me on this other hand here. Sorry. And I will also send out or include the link on the places to purchase that. I have some really great places to get them, very inexpensive and gently used if you want to go that route. That's what I did. Then we do have homework, but it's just reading, and I'm not checking your homework. There's no shame in here. If you couldn't get to it, no big deal. But I will tell you that you'll want to get to it. You'll want to get back to it because it's really that good. There's really so much rich information. It's an easy read because it's interesting, and it's about keeping us at our optimal health. So anyway, I would encourage you to keep up with the reading, but don't feel bad or feel like I can't come to class because I didn't do my reading. No one's ever going to know, and I'm not going to ask. Then we will just have a brief conversation about what did you enjoy with your reading this week? Then I will ask all of you what stood out. And then I always ask, does anyone have a success story? And that could be big or little. It could be I decided I'm going to walk my dog every morning now that the weather's cooler in Arizona anyway. Or it could be that I'm drinking more water. I never drink water, and I'm drinking water all day. Or it could be something really big. And one of those really big moments was one of the members came, and it was week 1. So we had 1 week of class. And I had asked, did anyone have, a success story they want to share this week? And this woman kind of, sheepishly waves her hand and goes, I lost 10 pounds this week. And everyone just went, what did you do to lose 10 pounds? We haven't even gotten to the food section. And she said, well, I just took your advice, and I stopped drinking soda for 1 week and lost 10 pounds. Unbelievable. But either way, we applaud the big ones. We applaud the small ones. They're all success stories, and it's just fun to be in a group that's supporting each other like that. Then there's always a video that's going to be played for about 20 minutes, might be the longest one. And it's usually one of the authors, and it's always on one of the pillars. The first week will be faith, second week food, third week fitness. You get the idea, right? And then after that, we'll have breakout sessions. And that's really where we kind of get a little personal, but privately on our own. It's all what happens at the table stays at the table. And we share what we learned during the week. And there is great questions in the study guide to ask each other. And you kind of leave with this okay, I'm not in this alone. Someone else is doing this at home too. And a lot of the people at the table will take each other's numbers and let me text you. I know 9 o'clock is that time you want to go to the pantry and eat chocolate. And I'm gonna pray for you all week. I'm gonna text you at 9 and say, get out of the fridge. So just really fun friendships that have evolved from the Daniel Plan. If you miss a class, you need to know that all the classes are recorded, including the video. and they will be stored on the app. I'll get to that for you to go back to at any time to watch. So don't feel like just because you missed a class that, oh, I can't go to the next class because I missed the first one. They're all different. You're going to get nuggets from every video session, from every meeting, from every email. You don't need to be at the food night to understand what's happening at the focus night, which is all about our brain health and having mental clarity and switching the way we think and talk to ourselves. Those are my two favorite chapters, by the way. Food and focus. And then there's fitness. Yeah. I just love it all. You're going to love it. So here is the new exciting news. I have recently released a fitness app. It is called Thrive 55. I am so excited about it. It's been a passion project of mine for about a year and a half. So what does this mean for you guys? I am letting all Daniel Plan members jump into the Thrive 55 app. In fact, that is where you're going to find your Zoom link. That is where you will find all your recorded classes. And let me tell you that you will be given a workout every day of the week. And if you don't like that day that I have planned out for you, you can go to the video library and decide, you know what? I don't have 25 minutes, but I do have 10. And boy, I would really like that stretch class, or I really could just use a core class today between, at lunchtime. You get to choose, which is awesome. And there's also live classes that are in the app as well. Another really cool thing is that we have a registered dietitian and nutritionist, and she has a library of recipes for the Thrive 55 app. It's all Daniel Plan approved. There is no thinking involved. It's amazing. So you're just going to have full access. You're going to have a fitness trainer every day of the week. It's going to be so fun. And it'll just be encouraging. You'll also have access to the podcast, into the blogs. You'll get newsletters. I mean, it's just going to be nonstop encouragement and fun, and you'll never want it to stop. And I hope that remains the same, because even when the 6 weeks is over, you will have an opportunity to continue with the app if you would like at a Daniel Plan discount, and we'll give you that code at the end of the course. So this class will cost $10. And that includes everything I just spoke of, that everyday workouts, recipes. You'll have access to all the classes recorded, the live classes, all of it. I can go on and on. So, and then in addition to that, you will have to get the books, and I can send you the link. I think I got this for $6. I'll send you the link. So I'll let you know where to purchase that. So before I let you go, I would love to introduce you to a Daniel Plan alumni who is now a dear friend. Her name is Carol Runyon. She has been a faithful Daniel Plan participant, and she keeps coming back. And I love that about her. So I would now like to introduce you to an alumni to the Daniel Plan, and now a personal friend of mine, Carol Runyon. Hello.
Hi. So good.
Hi. So good to see you. How is Florida?
Oh, Florida's wonderful. I love it. I love
Good.
different heat. You have the hot heat and dry, I have the moist heat. My skin
Right.
hair's
Right. It's good.
curly.
Good for the skin.
Yes, very good for the skin.
It's so good to see your face. I miss you. So I'm bringing you on because you are you might be the record holder of Daniel Plan classes. Do you know
Yeah.
how many classes you've taken?
I think your next one will be number 15.
I
Pretty
mean,
amazing.
I have panic attacks when you're not in the audience.
I,
It's so great. So that's amazing. So I've been doing this for probably um 13 years, 12 years, 12 years, twice a year for those 6 weeks, right? So I love that you've been a part of that. So What year was that? Do you remember the first year that you came to the Daniel plan?
I took the first class right before you when Anne was doing it. And then I took a semester off and then I tried it again through church. I saw that you were doing it. And so it would have been 2016 or 17, maybe.
Okay. So you originally heard about the Daniel plan through Scottsdale Bible Church.
Yes. And that would have been my first class was in 2015 with Anne, and then you started it. And then I think I started the next year. So probably joined you in 16 or 17.
Okay. Excellent. And then when you first, so you started with Anne because Anne was a sweet gal and a teacher of the class. That's when she came to me, asked if I would teach it because she had Family Matters. Um, when you first heard about it, did you know what you were getting into?
Well, I knew it was something about being healthy, and I needed a jump start to re-jump health. And so I remember receiving the first chapter and reading online, and I was like, okay, this is me. I need to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I teach this class, I often get people coming in thinking that we're either going to study the book of Daniel or we are going to eat like Daniel, which is more of that Mediterranean fruit, vegetables, nuts. But really, it was just a coincidence that Rick Warren was teaching on the book of Daniel. And that's when he decided, hey, let's call it the Daniel plan, because Daniel was the one who said to the king, hey, can I not eat all that luxurious food? And can I eat what I think is going to make me healthy? And that's what he did. So that's kind of why he decided to do that. So I'm
Right.
glad you already knew what you were getting into at that point. So when I advertise for this class a lot, I will push it through my social media. Um, and so oftentimes people are afraid that this is a diet plan. And they say, I don't think I could do this for 6 weeks. I'm going to be too hungry. What would you say to people who are concerned about that?
Learning about food through this is part of it, but it's not all of it. There are so many other factors that we learn from it.
Right. So did you find yourself hungry?
No, never.
Right.
Because there's always go-to snack you can have. It does encourage you to drink water, but it also encourages you to try the different recipes that they give you, and sharing those recipes with others and keeping emergency snacks with you is really key, I think.
Right. Great. All right. So another question that I often get is because they know that the Daniel plan is on those 5 pillars of success, which is faith, food, fitness, focus, and friendship. The faith part sometimes is a stumbling block for people, and they often wonder, do I have to be religious to take this class? What would you say to that?
Obviously, that's not a requirement. I think you should come in with a mind that you are learning just a idea of things of those five. So you're also learning focus, food, fitness, friends, but keep an open mind about the faith. I mean, God is involved with this plan, and that's why it works. So
I
do
agree.
know, but keep an open mind.
I agree. Yeah, I have said to someone that someone will tattoo a Chinese proverb on their body, but they look at a Bible verse and they might get offended. And so I always say, hey, listen, everything that you're going to hear, because it's not a Bible study, but you have Bible verses woven into the material that you're reading. And all of it's just a reminder how much God loves us and how we were created with purpose. And so I hope that's what people always get out of that, is that it's just loving words over your creator. But you certainly don't have to be a scholar in the Bible, or maybe you've never even opened the Bible to
Right.
take this class. So
in all ages, from
Yeah.
young adults to, what was Dorothy, 90 something. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
95.
And so when I started the class, I was 57 and now I'm 66. And it's so good no matter where you are.
Good. That's so good. So, if you hear from someone that says, I'm so busy, I work, I'm exhausted when I get home, I'm not going to be able to have time for this reading or homework, what
Right.
would you say to them?
Don't be worried about it. I mean, is the reading beneficial? Absolutely. I used to take my book in my car with me everywhere I went, so that if I had a chance to read, maybe I'd only read 1 or 2 pages during lunch, because I rarely ever have a full lunch break. And I ate at my desk when I did. So
Yeah.
gave me a break during work. It also enabled me to talk to other people about it. They knew I was doing something, they were interested in it. But whether you travel for work, or you're blessed to stay at home with your kids, or you work at night, or you work split shifts, you can do it no matter, you can do this class no matter what or where you are in life, because it's your the way that you run the classes. We always get to see the last week's video again, which is wonderful, so that
Right.
if you weren't in a class, you see it. And even though you may not have been able to read the whole, say, food chapter, which is really long, you have bits and pieces. And then people may say a comment, look on page 57, I really like this. And then you could circle it. And then when you go back to read it, makes a difference. And then if you're like me and you keep taking the class, you keep reading it and you keep getting different things out of it every time.
Right, right. Same. I mean, I always have it by my nightstand and we'll flip through it. The food section is crazy interesting content. Like, yeah, it's the longest chapter that we have, but it is so good and a little alarming what our food industry has allowed us to consume. But what I always say is, no one's checking your homework. It's not like you're going to get busted in class. It's more about, if you didn't get to it, get back to it. Just there's just so much good information there. So that's what I love about this book is that um, it's almost an easy read because it's so interesting and it's so helpful.
It is. And there's so many different people involved in presenting. There's, obviously Pastor Warren, but Dr. Hyman and Dr. Amen. And then there's a D, and then they have the participants. And then there's you giving, information. And so you learn from a wide variety of people that are obviously in different stages in their life. And that's, to me, one of the most beneficial things about the class is that you're getting it from many people that are in situations that you, and somebody may be in the same situation. So you learn from them as well.
Right, right. Yeah, that's so good. That brings me to someone who might say, well, I'm traveling, I'm going to miss that class, I'm going to miss more than one class. I'll just wait. I'll just wait until she teaches this again. What would you say to the person who says they're going to skip it because they're afraid they're going to miss a class?
I think it's okay if you miss class, but you also have the opportunity to pull it up on Zoom with you if you can, and if you can't, that's okay. You can catch up with it, because whether you're there for, all 6 or 7 classes, or you're only there for 4, those times that you're there, you're going to learn something that you can take forward with you. You really
Right,
are.
right. I always say it's not like, a movie where you see the second series and you don't understand it because you didn't see the first. Your every class is new nuggets of information. And like you said, I'll always send a recap of what we talked about, and then there'll be a recording of the complete class. So I always say to people, if you if this came to mind that this is an interesting um, course and this is, like you said, just what I need, just do it, right? Don't put it
Yes.
off. It's just, it's so worth it to take care of yourself. So you as an alumni, keep coming back. Um, how do you think your why? Like I heard you say when you first heard it, you're like, oh, I need to get healthier. I know I need to take this class. What is your why now? Why do you keep coming back all these years?
Um, literally, obviously, everybody is at a different point in their lives as we progress. So, what I was taking in at 57 and then I was taking in at 60, or one of the years my mom passed away,
Mm.
that made a really different year. And you learn different things, and people come around, and at the end we share and we're able to pray for each other. And so I remember Terry, who I made a friend with in the class, probably the first time she was back, and then Melinda Brown, and she and I would connect and go for walks. So every time I came, I was in a different stage of my life, but there were also different people there, or alumni. Again, can learn from different people. Honestly.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I love about it. I love the friendships that are made in class. I mean, even my Zoom people who never saw each other in person became close friends because we those breakout sessions where we have that, kind of one-on-one time or that small group time to share. Um, and you just learn so much. You realize you're not alone, and other people are dealing with the same things. And like you said, people are praying for you through the week, so it's cool.
Yes.
So, what's different about this year? So, do you know that I started a new business called Thrive 55?
Yes, I saw it on Facebook and then I saw your emails. It's very exciting.
Good, thank you. I know I'm so excited. So, this has just been a passion project for, almost 2 years, at least a year and a half. And I was really excited to share it with the Daniel plan because it's a perfect piggyback. When I teach the class, I always make um, a class available for them to jump in, but it's not always convenient. It's that one day at that one time. And then I'll send information as far as, motivating people to move, but they don't have the time. So this Thrive 55, right, is now accessible to all Daniel Plan members um, for 6 weeks. And that's every day of me. For movement, we have a recipe library from our dietitian and nutritionist that's on our team. And so it's just giving people access to what's on the app, the podcast, the continued just communication and community group on social media. So I just think it's going to be really neat for the Daniel Clan members to join in. What do you think?
Oh, I think it will definitely be helpful. I mean, before you did the Thrive 55, you invited us to participate in your classes, and in being able to do that is huge. And so being able to be exposed to more information or more health and fitness oriented things is wonderful. And part of it too, Anita, that I want to say is you always teach from your heart. And that makes a big difference for people. It's not
Mm,
just in life, and it's your love for other people and your love for God.
yeah. Thank you, Carol. I'm
You're
so
welcome.
excited. So you're going to be able to come on Tuesday night?
Yeah, I'm going to do the Zoom calls.
Yay! It's not the same without you there. So thank you so much. You look amazing. I'm so glad that for technology that we can still connect this way.
It's wonderful, Anita. Thank you so much for reaching out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll see you in about 3 weeks.
Great.
Okay. Thanks, hon. Have a great night.
Thank you for listening to the Made to Thrive podcast, a Thrive 55 Plus production. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a review as it really helps support us. If you want to learn more about how you can transform your life and age powerfully with us, please visit mythrive55.com.